What do you know about Stacker News? This is a post I made on Stacker News last week announcing the release of my poetry book. Here it is in all its glory. And I am responding to some questions that I got on this post. Now, why am I making a video? Well, I'm not really sure, but I've just recently gotten really excited about making videos. So this is what we're doing. Context asked about publishing, and I prepared some slides, which I will get to next. Those are going to take me some time to get through, so first I'm going to just rapid fire. Context wants to know, which publisher am I using and why? I'm using blurb.com. Why? Because I'm familiar with them. I used them once before, years ago. And I just knew what the product was, and it wasn't something new I had to learn, basically. So I was happy. I had them actually. I worked with Blurb back in 2018 for a different poetry book that I published. And so since I had done that before, I was like, hey, I know what that's going to look like and feel like. So I felt confident going there again, and it's quality and it's affordable, and they give you software to use, which may not be the best, but it gets the job done. Number 2, did you use any outside help for design, proofreading, editing, etc.? Or if not, how was the experience doing it on your own? Okay, so I didn't use any outside help for design, proofreading, editing, etc. I guess the exception is Blurb is producing the book. But yeah, every other step of the way, it was just me. But it's also taken me 5 years to get this thing done. I've pushed this project around for about 5 years in various forms. So, number 3, do you have any plans regarding the book after it's been published? i.e., will you do any book presentations or podcasts or marketing of any kind? Great question. And you made me actually think about it. So really the plan is, well, there's one plan and you're kind of seeing it. I plan to use YouTube to kind of talk about it. I plan to make videos reading the poems. So I'll tell you more about that too. But yeah, that's the basic questions. Let's just look at these slides I created because aren't they cute? I was just gonna kind of tell the broader story of my approach to publishing, and maybe I'll give some context about who I am in the process. I'm gonna tell you that you can just do things. I'm gonna explain why I approach it in such an independent way. I'm going to tell you what's the truth of the experience of self-publishing. I'm going to tell you what I do use that helps me. And then I'll kind of explain more that final question about marketing, because I have some feelings about marketing. Okay, here is a timeline of the books that I have published. You probably haven't, maybe you heard me talk about my grandpa book. I did that in 2021 and 2022. So what we're looking at here is some zines. This is the other poetry book that Blurb did for me that I was mentioning. These are totally self-published. I publish this zine every week today. That's primarily what I'm doing these days, and it's a lot of fun and I love it. I love Stacker News zine. Check it out. It's on my GitHub. It's on stacker.news. Okay, but I just wanted the timeline to demonstrate that my approach is very much just fleeting moments of creative inspiration across the years have ended in these books being published. And published is, I guess, a loose term here because this is very non-traditional. This is very like like I think this haiku zine, I've only ever printed it 5 times, but you could print it, like I could send you the file, you could print it at your house. That's the idea of a zine. And that's a lot of why, just what a zine is and the spirit of it, like animates my whole approach to publishing, which is just like own as much of it as I can, and I really enjoy that process. Okay, let's keep going. When I was in college, I mean, I was really focused and I was a good student and I really liked what I was learning about literature. And I really soaked in it. And that was able to impress upon me a point of view. And I haven't always known what to do with that. But if nothing else, it's at least mine. And I also worked in the public library as like my first job out of college. So being around books all the time really influenced just what I notice about books and what I like about books. And the library I was at was also very friendly to small press and self-publishing. And even this year again, in August, they're going to be throwing the annual Lit Fest. So check that out. There's a link for that there. Lit Fest is where, like, I heard from a lot of self-publishers and authors and bookshop owners. And that just really, like, you know, made me imagine that as an entire possibility. Because I knew that academic publishing and traditional publishing wasn't really interesting to me. And then I also, over the, years, like, never doing the same thing twice, kind of doing all this by an accident, just following artistic voice that I have to, like, be learning all the time and see a lot of things as the experiment that they are. So what is the truth? We want to know, what is the truth? The truth of the experience doing it on my own. I do as much of it on my own because I won't let myself not enjoy it. And if it's just something to just get done, if it's just something to check off the list, I'm not really interested. I'm not going to see it through to the end. Is that true? Jeez. I don't know if that's the truth. Okay, what is the truth? That's a great question, and we're finding out, and this is an experiment. That's the truth. I don't possess the truth on this, unfortunately, but my experience, it's very self-actualizing for me to bring books in to the world, publish poetry, publish writing, and make art. I enjoy it, and that's enough. That's all the satisfaction that I need. And okay, let's keep going. Okay, so this will just kind of give you an idea of the channels I'm using to talk about it. They're very few. And then another explanation of Blurb as the producer. Yeah, so Instagram and Stacker News are primarily where I'm going to be connecting with people about it. And I expect that each person who wants a copy of my book is going to have a personal interaction with me. And that means the reach is limited. I understand that, and I wouldn't be able to handle more capacity than that. So the channels are very limited to just I enjoy posting on Instagram. I enjoy posting on Stacker News. That's about where that list ends. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to use YouTube because I'm also enjoying making videos. More about that. How will I go to market or not go to market? Because I actually kind of refuse to do a lot of marketing things. Well, this is what my website looks like. The website I built. It's basic HTML, which I learned in 8th grade. That works. You can just do things. So yeah, if you go to my website, you'll be able to read it, you'll be able to order it, you and I will converse, and I'll send it to you. And isn't that great? And then, keep following me, whatever, subscribe here for poetry. Coming in the future, I'm gonna be reading to you. What? Is it real? It exists? This is it. So, won't that be so fun?